me and I will help. Or maybe the fur coat store said, you know, we got to do something because we're not moving any dead animals. And so we need someone charismatic and completely wild out on the street to put a new face on fur coats. And they called something New York Central Casting, and they got this guy. I don't know how these two entities found each other, but it was the marriage made in heaven. It was fantastic. I heard him before I saw him. I hear someone yelling. I look up and see this man standing in front of this massive fur coat store. He is wearing the biggest fur coat I've ever seen. He can barely put his arms down. He's like this fur-dipped Michelin man. He's kind of standing there like this with this ridiculous fur hat on his head that radiates like several inches. It's like this fur halo around his head with this little tiny pudgy face popping out, yelling at everyone walking by what he thinks is going to bring you in to buy a fur coat. You're going to drop everything, risk being late to work after what he said. Now you have to have a fur coat. What would your pitch be? This guy's pitch was amazing. Fur coat time! Come on now! Get that goddamn fur coat! 20% off these motherfuckers! Get that shit! You know you want it! You know you want it! These coats are bad! Damn, look at me! Are you kidding me?
It's got to be a bind. Yes.
I can't believe that anyone in the fur coat store has any idea of what's going on outside the fur coat store. There's no way the people who own the fur coat store wrote that out for you. Fur coat time. Get that fur coat now. You know you want that, you know. Come and get it. You know, throw down. Yes, yes, y'all. Okay. Or he said, I got this. And they went, okay. But he's out there. And so I'm loving this. You know, get that fur coat! He's just yelling at people. What else are you going to do to keep the blood circulating? You can't be subtle. It's a loud street. It's uptown. Anyway, an elderly woman, quite frail, is looking at the fur coats, perusing the items from outside, and he sees her as a potential client. And she's looking in the window, and he comes over, and she starts walking towards the front door. Like, I'm going to go in. And he sees her as a potential customer, so he reaches for the door to open it for her, and she kind of waves him off. Like, I'm just looking. That's right when I walked up on this man. He kind of leans around her, gets into her face like this far, at full volume. Kill me! When you're ready! It was like, she like staggered away. This is classic New York. And the other day, I came out of I was there a day later. It's a little warmer. I came out of the WNYC radio building, having done a radio interview with John Schaefer from the Soundcheck show. And as I'm walking up 6th Avenue towards the IFC Theater, I see a young couple. They're light-skinned. They look almost Egyptian. Very good-looking couple, mid-20s, kind of slim, both of them, and good-looking, you know, happening couple. But they seem to be having some kind of domestic disturbance. The guy is holding the girl. Not like, ooh, I like you, like, ooh, I'm trying to keep you from hitting me. And you see the girl trying to break free so she can crack him upside the head. And I don't know if any of you have ever been in a relationship where there was fights, you know, the guy and the girl. I've been out with a lot of women in my life, but I never yelled at a woman. I've never hit a woman. It's not how I'm wired. And I've only had one experience with a girl. I got the girl angry enough to where she attacked me. And I know that some of you guys have had women who like beat you up or like chased you with an iron or something. I've been kind of spared all of that except for once. And I remember, when I saw the guy basically clenching the girl so she couldn't hit him, I kind of remember many years ago in the 80s, I was hanging out with a girl in her Hollywood apartment. We were kind of going out, I guess we were. But we argued more than anything else. And you know, two young people in a small space, the tempers flare, or at least her temper flared at me, and she just came at me, swinging. Like, and I'm not going to hit back. But I don't want to stand around and get hit. It's just not really on for me. And there's nowhere to really move around in this apartment. It's quite small. It's like a bed, a door, the kitchen, and the bathroom. And so I said, well, maybe this will work. And I kind of reached over her fists and put my hand on her head. Maybe she'll stand still. It would have been easier for her to duck and come up and crack me one. But she kind of leaned into my hand. It was kind of funny. And then she finally, she swung herself out, and I thought, are you going to stop? And she's still mad, but the arms had turned to jelly, and that's how we resolved that conflict. I just kind of held her in place. And she was really into me, giving me all she had. And a few months later, she was the bass player in Black Flag. And that's how I met Kira. Anyway, so I know the conflict thing when I see it. I'm like, oh, this isn't good. And now nice people from New York City are making a loose circle around the warring couple with their iPhones out, like Citizen Cam. You shouldn't do that. Fighting's bad. I'll post this on my Facebook page. A lot of people follow me. I have a lot of friends. They'll see this. You should do that. And I am going to break this up. I'm going to go in there and I'm ducking, push them apart, because you can't be knocking each other out on the street. We are a civilized society. And the girl breaks free, and she shoves the guy back, measures him, dips her right shoulder. And this punch started from way back here. And what year was it where Alexander invaded Afghanistan? Like 330 BC. That's when the punch started. All through 3 Anglo-Afghan wars, like 1839, 1878, and 1919, through the Soviet-Afghan War of 1979, all the way through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. No one gets hit by a punch like this. You can get a subscription to a magazine and read 5 issues before this punch will hit you. Go get lunch, come back, and it's still coming. Like, don't walk away. If you get hit by this one, you should get hit by this one. Maybe you lock some sense into you so you never get hit by that one again. It was a poorly thrown punch. Like, it's just, fiscal quarters are going by. I'm going gray as I'm watching this fist. And the guy won't do anything. I'm like, really? Are you kidding? Really? It's still happening. Good shot! And the fist hits this man upside the head so hard, you can hear his brain move to the other side of his cranium as what encephalitic fluid or whatever is in there goes. It's like we're kicking a watermelon down the road with that awful sound of hollow thump. You're like, oh! And you're like, whoa! And it only makes the girl madder. Now she's really trying to kick his ass. She got one shot in, and that's when I got up close enough on them to see that this was not a girl. It was a guy with kind of an effeminate hairdo, kind of a gal. So it's 2 guys having a lover's quarrel. And so now they're really getting into it. And the guy is more in defense mode. The gal guy is just like now going strength to strength and really measuring him up and kind of trying to come in close. And they round the corner, and now they are fully on 6th Avenue. And now all the homies are like, no, get him! They're all into it. They're siding with the girl guy. And the girl guy looks over, there's that mountain of snow that's been there since, September. And now it's speckled with fecal matter, human and canine, and all kinds of garbage and urine. And she reaches into the mountain of snow, like it was a prawn, laying in wait, and pulls out this perfectly sawed-off Louisville Slugger-sized tree branch that the city, no doubt, had cut into pieces from the tree they were pruning months before the snow fell. Like, she knew it was in there. But she's standing there with this, a real piece of work. Like, she's going to bash the guy's brains. I'm like, oh, no. This is okay, but not the brain coming out of the ears. No. And right when she's about to, level this guy, she has a change of heart, drops the club, goes over to the guy, they wrap around arms around each other and start making out, grinding into each other, and they put their arms around each other, grab each other's taut buttocks, and make their way up the street. And it's like a storm cloud came in, and the storm cloud left, and it's like it never happened. And I am so happy I've never been in a relationship like that. That kind of caloric burn, I don't understand how you would survive. And so I was in New York for a week, big fun I had. And from there I went to Los Angeles to do a week of shows. And that's where I live. As you know, I'm from Washington, D.C., but I live in Los Angeles. And like many of you, I don't know if all of you are from here, some of you perhaps from somewhere else, and you came to the big city for some reason, like a girl, or a guy, or a job, or a band. And maybe the girlfriend or boyfriend, the relationship went away, the marriage did not work out, the job went away, or the band broke up, and here you are, not wanting to go back home, because that's kind of giving ground. Thomas Wolfe reminded you you can never go home again. So you say, well, it's cool, I guess I live here. And I can fit all my worldly possessions in the trunk of my car, but I'm still not going to go home, I'm going to live here now. This is it, I guess. In 1986, when Black Flag broke up,
I was left with 2 milk crates full of broken crap and